Assalamu alaikum dear students, I am Kashif Habib and today we will be learning nouns of English grammar. But before starting the video or lesson, I would like you to like this video and also subscribe it, and also click on the bell button so that you would get the notification of the new videos. So let's start the work. Nouns are basically naming words. When you name anything, any object or any person or any place, that becomes a noun. Like Pakistan, like Islamabad, like Arham, like chair, like cupboard, like park, like tiger, like cat, like mirror, like curtain, like TV, like mobile. So all of these things are names. So when we call anything with any name, that name is basically a noun. Now there are a lot of types of noun. I have written them here. Firstly, there is common noun, then proper noun, abstract noun, concrete noun, material noun, compound noun, collective noun, countable noun, uncountable noun, and possessive noun. Let's start with common noun. Common noun is basically a name of things in common. Common means when there is a thing and it is available everywhere and it is named the same. It is named the same. It is called with the same name. Like this is the whiteboard. So this whiteboard is here in this classroom, and wherever this whiteboard would be, it would be named as whiteboard. Like there is a marker. Now wherever you find this marker, it would be called a marker, not anything else. Like there is a mobile. Wherever you find a mobile, it would be called a mobile. Like tiger. Wherever you see a tiger, it would be called a tiger. It doesn't mean that in Pakistan you would name it tiger and in India you would call it a dog. So it means the things are different, but in differently they are named the same, similar names. They have only one name wherever you find them, and you definitely recognize them. And proper noun, I am going to write the examples here, like tiger, like park, like chair. Proper noun. Proper noun, we can name it, it's totally opposite of common noun. So proper noun are basically names of objects in specification. Specification means like we cannot find any similar copy to them. Like I am Kashif, so this is very specified name. So you would not find another Kashif anywhere. That's why the names of the people are proper noun. The word country is common because everywhere there are a lot of countries, but Pakistan is proper noun because there is no other country with the name of Pakistan. Similarly, Islamabad, the word city is common noun because it is found everywhere, but the name of city like Islamabad is a proper noun because there is no other Islamabad like this one. Similarly, their name of the places, like I have written here park. The word park is common, but when you name the park like F9 Park, like Ayub Park, so it means it becomes a proper noun. So when you name anything in any specification, it becomes a proper noun. And commonly proper nouns are known as the name of the countries, name of the cities, name of the people, and the name of the parks, name of the buildings, any specific name. So that would be a proper noun. Number 3, abstract noun. Abstract noun, there is a lot of confusion about abstract noun, but let me make it very clear and very easy for you to understand. Abstract nouns are basically dominate 5 senses. Like we have got 5 senses: smell, sense of smell, taste, hear, touch, see. These are 5 senses that we have. So whenever there is a name, there is a noun, and we cannot conceive that word with any of these 5 senses, if we cannot conceive any of that word with any of these 5 senses, that becomes our abstract noun. For example, if I write here wisdom, so let's check it on all of these 5 senses. Can we see wisdom? No. Can we touch wisdom? No. Can we hear wisdom? No. Can we taste it? No. Can we smell it? No. It becomes an abstract noun. Similarly, bravery. So if you put bravery on the scale of these five senses, so we come to know that bravery is also, we cannot conceive bravery, we cannot see it, touch it, hear it, taste it, smell it, so it becomes our abstract noun. Now this one another thing that I would like to share, that every that word, every that noun that ends in ness, every that noun that ends in ness comes in the category of abstract noun. Not all the nouns, but every word that has ness, like politeness, abstract noun, kindness, abstract noun, goodness, abstract noun, craziness, abstract noun, illness, abstract noun, and there are so many other words that end in ness, they would be abstract noun. Concrete noun, number 4. Concrete nouns are opposite of abstract noun. Anything that you can perceive, anything that you can perceive with any of the five senses, that becomes your concrete noun. Like if you touch this board, this is a concrete noun. If you see water, this is a concrete noun. If you hear anything, that becomes concrete noun. If you smell anything, that becomes your concrete noun. If you taste anything, that becomes your concrete noun. Any of the five senses. If you perceive anything, any of the five senses, so that is your abstract noun. Concrete noun. Material noun is basically raw material. Raw material like gold, silver, water, soil. Any raw material is a material noun. Any raw material is a material noun. Next, compound. Compound noun is basically the combination of 2 or 3 or 4 words. When 2 or 3 or 4 words get together and they form a noun. Not all 2 or 3 words always form a noun. When they form a noun, so it becomes a compound noun. For example, very famous words I am going to write here. These are like ice cream, cupboard, and of course mother-in-law. All of these words are collective noun. Compound noun. Collective noun. Collective nouns are names of groups of things. When so many things means 2, 3, 4, 5 things, more than 2 things, they are in collection, and that collection is given a name. That is the group name. So the group name would be a collective noun. Like there is herd, like there is flock, like there is clump of trees, like there is fleet of ships, like there is bunch of bananas, bunch of grapes, like there is archipelago of island, like there is continent, like there is army of soldiers, team of players, band of singers, gang of robbers, and audience and spectaculars, and these all the words they come into collective noun, countable noun. Now for countable noun and uncountable noun, there are 3 rules to recognize what is a countable noun and what is an uncountable noun, and I am going to rub it first and then I am going to give you some examples so that you would understand them. Countable noun and uncountable noun. Now there are basically 3 rules for it. Number one rule is that can be counted. Every that noun is countable noun that could be counted, that you count on your fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 boys, 5 rooms, 3 houses, 50 cars, 7 markers. Alright, these are countable nouns that you can count. and they are very easy. Like 3 markers I have got in my hand. Okay. Similarly, like if you say so many words, the words are also countable. Alright. So if you say 7 countries, if you say 1,000 people, if you say 1 lakh rupees, that is countable. So the word that could be counted, the nouns that could be counted, they are countable nouns. Number 2, rule number 2. That has a plural form. Now this second rule removes any kind of confusions. That noun which has a plural form, that comes into countable noun category. Alright, every that noun. Now if you have any confusion whether you can count it or not count it, so just see whether you can form the plural form of that noun or not. For example, there's a lot of confusion about stars. So many people say stars are uncountable. But stars are basically countable because we can form a plural form of stars. Right? Stars has a plural form of stars. If a noun is uncountable nouns never have any plural form. They are always in singular forms. That's why we use a singular verb with them. We use is with them. We use was in them. With them, we use has with them, we use verbs, we use s or es with the verb, but it doesn't happen with countable nouns. If they are in plural form, we use s, so we use were, we use are, we use have, we use go, we don't use goes. So this is the first thing. Stars are countable noun. And similarly, the word money as compared to rupee. Now money is, in Urdu we say rakam. Rakam is uncountable. Rakam is never countable. If you make a plural form money, it never has a plural form. Like if you add here s, so there isn't any s with money. Like you say, I got 100 money. No. How much money? With uncountable nouns we use much, not many. How much money? We don't say how many money. How much money do you have? Like, but as compared to the rupees are countable. Currency is countable. Dollars are countable. $1, $2, $3, $1, $2, $3. Rupees are countable. 1 rupee, 2 rupees, 3 rupees. Pounds are countable. 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds. Yawns are countable. 1 yawn, 2 yawn, 3 yawns. Real is countable. 1 real, 2 reals, 3 reals. But the word money, because money encompasses all the currency. So the word money is uncountable. So this becomes the second rule. Similarly, bread, with bread we, like bread, if I write here bread, so we don't use s with the bread. What is basically the word loaf? A loaf of bread, not breads. If you want more than one loaf, you can say loaves of bread, not breads. Breads is also. So the word bread is uncountable. The third rule is very interesting. Use common sense. Now there are so many words in English language we don't have any plural form. Like, what's the plural form of sheep? What's the plural form of fish? The singular is sheep and the plural is also fish. When we say fishes, so fishes comes into different types of fishes. If there is only one type, so one would be the fish and two would be the fish. We don't say fishes. So what sheep and fish, they don't have any plural form. So if they don't have any plural form, we don't use s with them. If they don't have any plural form, so it doesn't mean that they are uncountable now. Use your common sense. We can count sheep, 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep, 4 sheep. We can count fish, 1 fish, 2 fish, 3 fish, 4 fish. Though we don't use sheeps, fishes, we don't use it. Why don't we use it? I really don't know. But we have to use a common sense in that. Okay? So that becomes our countable and uncountable nouns. Now the last one is possessive noun. Possessive noun is basically the idea of apostrophe. This is apostrophe. Now, with any noun, if you use an apostrophe, that becomes our possessive noun. Like if I write here arham, okay. Now, if I write here apostrophe s and write here another word book, so it is a possessive noun. Which is a possessive noun? Arhams. Because over here is means of. So apostrophe possession means of. In other words, we can write here book of Arham. Like I can write it like this: book Arham. Right? Now there are singular nouns and plural nouns, so we have to be careful about them. Where to use and where not to use. So I am going to tell you where when it is a plural noun, when it is a singular noun. Like if I write here book, books, units, so it's a magic. If I write apostrophe here before s, it is a singular noun. Alright, but if I remove this apostrophe from here and use it after s, it becomes a plural noun. Alright, so using apostrophe after s is a plural noun, and using apostrophe before s is a singular noun. But there are some nouns which are completely changed to form a plural form. Like, what is the plural form of woman? Of course, women. Alright. So in both of the cases, we'll use firstly apostrophe, then s. Because there isn't any s after woman and women. Right, so when the word is completely changed, when we make a plural form without using s or es, we change the word. So we have to use apostrophe first and noun and s later on. I hope you understand all the nouns, and if you have any query, you can message, you can ask, and I would very love to answer that. Till then, Allah Hafiz.